So welcome to our featured game of the week in round 5 of the Champions Cup. Of course, it's Saracens again versus Ospreys, or Ospreys versus Saracens. Must-win game for Sarries.
It's a huge game. Obviously, if Saracens don't win here, they are out of the competition. The back-to-back European champions. Who'd have thought that 6 months ago when Jim Hamilton was still on that Saracens shirt?
No one. No one would have thought that while I was still at Saracens.
Jim Hamilton retires. They lose back-to-back games in Europe. That doesn't happen when Jim Hamilton plays or sits in the stands watching. And now they go to the Ospreys. They go to the Liberty Stadium, which is a tough place to go. Maybe not in the Pro 14 where the Ospreys aren't performing, but in Europe they've certainly stood up. And currently in their pool, Clermont sit top, Ospreys sit second, and Saracens sit third. So must-win game for Saracens. Cup final mentality, isn't it? You've got the big boys back in the likes of Billy Vunipola, Farrell, those sort of guys. But this Saracens team, they're back on the horse. They had a great win against Wasps at the weekend. But you've picked out a couple of guys that really interest you, haven't you?
Mate, they've definitely come into a bit of form. So we mentioned Billy, we mentioned Marrow before. Of course, we have the star names of the team. But Michael Rhodes, Mr. Michael Rhodes, long-term injury, had a horrible shoulder injury, nasty shoulder injury. He's come back in. There's chat about England and all this. Forget that. For Saracens, mate, he has been on fire. 2 man-of-the-match performances back-to-back. It's probably, the break's probably done him good.
Yeah.
Mate, it's the best I've seen him play. Yeah. He is out there smashing boys like I used to.
Well, you used to tickle boys. But what I'll say about Michael Rhodes is, I think, having played with him, where would I have played with Michael Rhodes? Quick test for you. The Sharks, correct. Ex-teammate of mine.
The Sharks.
I didn't tackle. I made him make my tackles. And you look at him now, he's an outstanding athlete, big, powerful ball carrier as well. And you said, rightly so, back-to-back man of the matches, and he's chucked his hat in for England, hasn't he? He said he wants to qualify.
26 grand again.
There's a bit of cash in it for him, so why shouldn't he as well? If he qualifies on residency, South Africa aren't interested. How he's not playing for South Africa right now is beyond me.
Just shows the South Africa setup, doesn't it, really?
Well, the South Africans are struggling as a nation in terms of international rugby, and you've got guys like him, South African through and through, proper Safa Saracens,
yeah, if you get it.
Saying he wants to play for England, but great ball carrier, defensively really good, great work rate as well. So if he's on form, Saracens pack will be going forward.
Yeah, and we're going to look at the best fullback in English rugby.
Oh yeah, Alex Goode. No relation of mine. No relation of mine. He is playing exceptionally well. A couple of tries at the weekend against Wasps. This was the one that got the bonus point, chucks it out the back into the crowd. Yeah. Thousands of people watching at the Ricoh Arena. But his form under the high ball, and people talk about Mike Brown and him and who's the best fullback. You watch the way he plays, not just catching high balls, because he does that just as well as Mike Brown, counter-attacking, going into the line, his footwork is phenomenal. Every time he gets the ball, he makes meters. He makes things happen. He puts defenders in trouble, puts attackers in space. Great player.
Great player. He's a good player.
He's very good.
He's
no
very
relation.
Good.
No relation. Perhaps not as good as I was, but he's pretty good.
Did you see the try-saving tackle at the weekend?
I did.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What about the wheels on him? So how is he not in the England setup then?
I just think his face doesn't fit. And I think the problem for him is Eddie Jones probably thinks he's related to me, so just will not pick him.
Well, there you go. That explains it then.
Well, I've cleared it up. He's no relation.
Yeah.
A damn good player, though.
OK, talking of damn good players, one of them came back at the weekend, and boy, did he come back. And here he is. He's my mate. He's my partner in crime. We're like that.
Does he even know who you are?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
We'll give him a ring.
Yeah, he used to scrummage like just there, so I'd be like, there, like bent over, pushing. He used to push me in the back.
Oh, OK, very nice.
But it's Billy. It's Billy Vunipola. And he's back. He's in the top 2 or 3 players in the world, in history, ever, to have played the game.
Yeah.
The difference he made against Wasps at the weekend, and beat Wasps, Saracens, I don't know if I said that. The difference he made was huge, eh?
It was massive. I mean, you just look at this clip here. No other Saracens player in the picture, but you count the Wasps defenders. We've got one trying to make the tackle. He's gone through him. There's 2. Gaskell there, 3, 4, 5 Wasps defenders.
And the linesman.
And a linesman having a go as well. And just Billy. And that's the thing. He attracts a load of defenders and then offloads out of contact, gets other people in space. He's phenomenal. He's impossible to tackle. It literally does take 3 or 4 guys to tackle him. That gets him on the front foot. That creates the space elsewhere. And that's why Saracens are so dominant. Big Billy plays. They don't lose.
Exactly. Well, we'll see. And we mentioned Ospreys as well. So Ospreys are second. So they're above Saracens. It's a must-win game. We're talking about Saracens. I'm sure everyone down in Wales is talking about Ospreys, potentially knocking out the European champions. It's going to be a great game, Goode.
Well, it's their big opportunity, Ospreys, isn't it, to correct what's gone on in the Pro 14. 2 players I'm going to look at. Dan Biggar, outstanding individual, fly half. Big battle between him and Owen Farrell. Both Lions in the summer. Farrell got picked at 12. Biggar was on the bench. Sexton played 10, didn't he? So Bigger will want to put a big performance in there.
He wants to put in a big performance.
He does. Big performance
Get
for
it
Bigger.
done, bigger.
But then there's one other guy who is a talisman for Ospreys, and I believe is your nemesis throughout your career. Alan Wynne-Jones, he's a star for them, isn't he?
Never heard of him. Nah, he's a good player. He's a good player. He's a half-decent player.
Well, with Bigger leaving and there's chat of Alan Wynne-Jones looking to leave as well, and perhaps cash in France or something, you actually think Ospreys, this is their final chance to do something good in Europe. Players moving on, massive opportunity for them. Can they knock out the European champions? I don't think so. I'm going to back Saracens.
We will see, we can't wait. And that's our featured game of the week, of course, is Saracens again, travelling down to Wales against the Ospreys. But they're not just travelling down, we're all travelling down. Saracens, BetSafe, Jim, Saracens and BetSafe, and Jim.
I'm not going.
Goode's not going, but he's here. He's here.
Saracens will win.
Saracens will definitely win.
Are you sure?
Definitely.